Alright, what's up everyone? We are back with more Red Dead Confessions. It's been a while since I've done one of these ones, and we still have so many to do. So, alright, let's get started. I don't get all the praise for John's looks. Jack is so much hotter. Oh my god. You people need to chill with this. I think going forward, I'm not going to read any more of these ones, because it's like there's just the same thing again and again. I bought the bandana just so that I can kill people with no repercussions. I regret nothing. That is pretty fun to do sometimes, just go around. I don't know, it's kind of fun when they're chasing you too. Then, what do we see? I can't help but think that Jack's cowboy outfit is better than John's. I don't think so. I mean, it looks okay, but I don't know. I think John's looks more like the classic cowboy outfit, whereas Jack's looks more like modernized for the time. So, let's see. I get guilty pleasure off of throwing John Marston off of a cliff. Every time feeling regretful right afterwards when he groans and holds his... Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's... when he's doing that, like, it's kind of like he has, like, the biggest migraine ever. Yeah, I know that animation that they're talking about. Alright, try to rapid fire through these. I'm not in a rush, but I'm trying to get as many of these done as I can. If it seems like a repeat of anything before, I probably won't read it, or I'll edit it out. Alright, here we go. While Bill Williamson and Dutch seem to be rather well-developed and integral parts of the story, Javier Escuella, and yes, I'm going to say Escuella, because in the game, even in the Mexico part, they actually say his name wrong. It's not Javier Escuella, it's Javier Escuella, because these two L's make a Y sound, so that's how I'm saying it. Javier Escuella did not have much of a role beyond being name-dropped a dozen or so times. He seems like he could have been more of an interesting character if he was featured beyond that one mission. That is one thing that is interesting, is that it seems like, and I think that's kind of why some people kind of don't like Mexico, is like there's not really a big payoff. Like ultimately it doesn't matter what side you choose, and even if let's say you take him out of the game, are you really like missing anything? Like not really. So I agree, and he was a little bit expanded more in RDR2, but even still, like his whole turn and stuff, like I just thought didn't make sense. And I don't know, he just hasn't really been written well, I think, in either of the games. And I don't know, I just think that they needed another character, and they just like, okay, let's throw him in. So I kind of agree with this sentiment here. I think that they could have done more to expand that character, or maybe like what they could have done was have you initially meet him, and then like he like kind of betrays you. Like maybe John doesn't trust him right away, but then like he kind of maybe like tricks John, or like some, I don't know, it kind of would, maybe it would have been better like that, and have maybe various meetings with him, because like with Bill Williamson, you see him at least what, like 3 or 4 times before you kill him, and then Javier Escuella, you only see him once. So yeah, I think that they could have done more to integrate him into the game. But when I read in the newspaper that Seth found treasure in tall trees, I got really excited and happy. I don't remember that. I guess yeah, that must have been the epilogue paper. Things paid off for Seth finally, and he got his gold. Somebody stole my RDR game and PS3 from me. How did you let that happen? You have your game and your console stolen. They never even apologized, and even if they did, I would never forgive them. I hope 15 or 16 years later that you got your console back. I did not like Jack very much when I first beat the game. Something about his appearance I didn't like very much. After playing him more and getting outfits with him, even playing some strange missions with him, I just liked him more and more. Now I enjoy Jack, but still not as much as John. Blessed are the peacemakers. I think I kind of like him more nowadays, but like back then I didn't really like him. I think one cool thing to kind of do is to maybe just like start the stranger missions as John, but then you finish them as Jack. And I think it kind of makes it cool. Or maybe you don't do any of the stranger missions, and that way it gives you a lot to do when you're Jack. I think that's been a way that I've played it sometimes, where I don't do any stranger missions while I play as John, but I do them as Jack, or maybe I start them as John but I don't finish them. And it kind of makes it like more like, it adds more to it, you know? Okay, let's see. I can't even think of John's death without crying. It's so awkward when my brother wants to talk about Red Dead Redemption, and tears start to roll down my cheeks, because that's the first thing I think about. Even worse when he brings it up in public. Yeah, it was like very emotional for a lot of people, and I think that's the thing. And I've said this before, where I would say like with John's death, it was more unexpected. Like with Arthur, you knew he was gonna die, and that's why it didn't really impact me, honestly. Not as much as John's, because John's was like a total out of nowhere, you know. But yeah, Okay. As much as I absolutely despise Mexico, I don't mind it in online multiplayer because there's less people there that will kill you for no reason. I agree, like a lot of people are either in Armadillo or Blackwater. I kind of usually will go to Tesoro Azul to like practice. So like I'll go to the gang match a few times, like, or I'll go to the gang hideout a few times before I join gang matches, and I'll go practice there. That's usually like what I'll do. But yeah, it's still like people back then did not like Mexico, and I think I've said before why I think people didn't and why I don't hate it, but it's not like my favorite part of the game. But yeah, just because it's like so much back and forth, backtracking, you know, going from one side of the country to the other, and not a lot of variety in the missions. So I think that's kind of why people don't like Mexico. Oh god. Whenever I go pants shopping, I try to have the same fit as John's pants. Maybe it was only me, but I thought his pants fit perfectly. Why are we talking about his pants? And probably like it probably was like tailored, which is why they fit well. That's my guess. Back then, you'd pretty much have all your clothes tailored. Not all of them, a few of them. I love the random events where people try and rob you and use a hooker as bait. I always try to go Deadeye. I always go Deadeye and headshot the 4 robbers, then rob the hooker and kill her too. It may sound dark, but it's fun. I thought that was an interesting detail too, or even that the one that got me one time when I first started playing was the ones where it's like, oh, I need to ride into town. Can you help me? And then like you'll stop to try to help them. Sometimes they do actually need a ride to town, but other times they just throw you off the horse and then they steal it. And they ride off, and that's what happened to me. Like I think it was my first time playing it, and I couldn't catch the guy, and he ended up stealing my horse, and I remember that. And it's just like so many different like random outcomes that can happen like that. Like I've had ones where like certain like different like gang members like Dutch's gang will suddenly appear, you know, in a posse and ride through town, and other times like they won't, and it's also very interesting. And I always like to do that too, like take one NPC from one side of the world to the other. Like I've brought Dutch's gang over to Mexico to see like how they react, and the NPCs like how they interact with each other. It's pretty interesting. I want to bite Seth's collarbones. Why on earth would you want to do that? He does have some protruding collarbones, I guess, because he doesn't eat. He probably eats like once a week. Even though it's probably just rumors, I still like to think Uncle was Red Harlow every time I play through the game. And that was, yeah, it was interesting like how that became such a big rumor. I don't see it, and I think that it's better that he's not Red Harlow, because like that kind of would be like disappointing, like, oh, this is how Red Harlow ended up. He was like a drunk, and yeah. And also he talks too much to be Red Harlow, so I'm convinced that New Austin was based on Colorado. Now, I'll be the judge of this because I actually live here. From the plains to the desert to the mountains to the big city. I mean, there's parts of it that are. I would say the most parts that are based on it, because we do have some desert, but not like this. The desert does not look like this here. I would say it's more West Elizabeth that looks more like Colorado, I would say. Whereas like the plains and then the mountains. Maybe you could say Henniganstead, but I think Henniganstead was more based off of like Texas, you know, like where they have like the cattle ranches. Like Henniganstead seems more like the Texas Panhandle. New Austin, I would say part of it is Arizona and part of it being New Mexico. Gaptooth Breach may be like Nevada or California. So I think it's like a kind of an amalgamation of different states. I don't think it's all Colorado. Oh, okay, this is the cool one. I was like previewing this, and this is so cool. Okay, my favorite bit about RDR was the lobby in Undead Nightmare Overrun mode. One time I got my friend to blast Gonna Fly Now by Bill Conti, and I totally started Brawl's greatest multiplayer experience ever. So this is cool here. So look at this. This is on the Xbox, I could tell. We have some NBK members here. So we have NBK Senor, Wars. I remember that clan from back in the day. And I thought there was another NBK here, but this must have been, when was this taken? Hold on, let me see. 13 years ago. So probably 2013, maybe 2012. I don't know, but I thought that this was cool to see this like screenshot of some of the old names and stuff. So yeah, that's cool. And look how full the lobby is. I mean, I get them full every now and then, but back then you always got full lobbies. The birth of a conservation movement was one of the worst things I've done in a video game. Although you kill tons of people in the original game, I felt like a murderer in this mission. Yeah, you do feel like a piece of shit, honestly. Like, if you just, you kill him and you totally wipe out the whole Sasquatch. And then the Sasquatch became like a meme in the community. And then, I forgot her name. She's like in the whole game. But yeah, it's still such a one of the best DLCs in my opinion of all time. I'm not being biased. I really do think it's one of the best DLCs. This picture is really blurry. I hope that Rockstar, if they decide to make another Red Dead game, they decide to make it a prequel, which they did. It could be about John's time in Dutch's gang. Yep, they did. And entitled Red Dead Damnation. Honestly, that sounds like a better title than Red Dead 2. Like, it's so weird that it's named Red Dead 2, but it's actually a prequel. But yeah, this guy Rockstar stole the concept from this guy here. No kidding. But yeah, it's exactly what the game became. And that's what I was saying. Like, if they do make another one, I think we need to move on from Dutch's gang. Like, you could mention them or have references, but I think we need to do something else. We had two games with them. So playing through the single player the third time through, I take everything in and enjoy the scenery more. It's such a beautiful game, and I will not stop playing it or the story. It's like the best Western movie that you could play. Yeah, and it is. Some people would say RDR2 is better. I think personally RDR1 is better, but I think honestly it depends on which game you played first. Most people, if they played this game first, they're going to say this game is better, but yeah. Here we go, let's see. As much as John seemed indifferent and even hateful to some of his partners, I believe that he'd still take a bullet for most of them. I don't think he really hated, the only people I think he probably hated was like, maybe De Santa or Allende. He probably didn't like Reyes. But indifferent, I guess, maybe he was more like indifferent towards like Irish. And I could see him getting a little bit annoyed with Wes Dickens, but I don't think he was like super indifferent. He was just like a man on a mission, He was just like no nonsense, and he didn't want to put up with people's bullshit. So I don't know if I would say, I mean, maybe a couple of them you could say that, but I think a few of them he actually did care for, like Bonnie. I think he liked and respected Marshall Johnson despite him being a lawman. Seth is maybe I could see as indifferent. I think he felt sympathy towards Louisa and was trying to kind of trying to wake her up to that she might have been too idealistic. And I'm trying to think of other people. He did not like Edgar Ross. That's probably one he would hate. Archer, he probably didn't hate Archer, but he probably didn't really like him either. I made John a good guy, hoping it would possibly affect the outcome of the game. Obviously, I didn't know how the game ended, so I made Jack a vengeful, angry man who enjoys murdering lawmen. I think that's kind of an interesting take, and it makes sense that he probably would be pretty bitter and angry at the world. Because, I mean, even like, I think Abigail died like 3 years after John did, so it makes sense that he would be kind of bitter and angry. He had everything taken from him, basically. The ride back home after killing Dutch was one of the best moments in the game. After all that trouble, John deserved to spend his last days with his family. Yeah, that is a really good part. I remember, like, I think the first time I was playing it, I think I got attacked by a bear, and for a while I didn't even know that there was a song that played after. It wasn't until I played it again where I heard that song, but yeah, the first time I got attacked by a bear, so I didn't really hear it. But yeah, that is a really great moment. I still think like the best like soundtrack combo moment is when you're riding into Mexico. I think that's still the best one. But this comes second. This is like a really good one too. The dry humor in Undead Nightmare was great. Come on out, I don't bite. Oops, bad joke. I think that dry kind of humor was kind of missing in Red Dead 2. I feel like RDR1 had its serious moments, but it wasn't like over the top. So, I mean, there are some funny moments in Red Dead 2, but I like the humor more in RDR1. I just like the dry humor and this sometimes like dark or mordant humor. I don't know. I kind of like that more in the first game than in the second game. One of my biggest hopes for this game was Rockstar creating an expansion of playing through Len and Ricketts' younger days. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they ever make a third one, that's what they need to do, is play as Len and Ricketts. That's what they need to do. That would be so cool, but who knows what they would do. They're so focused on GTA 6 right now, who knows if they would even do it. I hate how if you shoot one cougar, 3 more come. Oh my god, yes. That is so annoying, especially in like Rio Bravo. Tanner's Reach too. There's a lot of them. Sometimes in Gaptooth Breach, yeah, they will just, or even sometimes in West Elizabeth too. They just randomly get attacked and then the more come. I love that delightfully awkward hug John gives everyone until he sees Abigail and Jack again. No, he hugged. Well, obviously McDougal here. But he also, I think it was Louisa and then Bonnie. I don't know who else I don't think he hugged anybody else. I was really sad in Undead Nightmare when I had to kill Peter and Alma, knowing she died sad and alone. Yeah. Poor, and that's another thing, is like everyone is like everything is like so depressing in the first game too. It's like there's like little to no happy endings. Like what, maybe the guy fucking the horse is like one of the happy ones in the Stranger mission. Everything else is like depressing and oh yeah. This game helps me get through 2 breakups. Whenever I'm angry about them, I get on and cold blood murder everyone I see. It really helps. Yeah, well, good. Well, it's like I've mentioned before, like it's kind of like a good escape if things aren't going too well in your normal life, just to hop on. And I wouldn't really do more violent stuff. I more would just like ride around, or I would take the train and just like set my controller down and just like watch it, listening to music. So yeah. If it's nighttime in the game, I won't go to Tumbleweed because it creeps me out too much. It is kind of a creepy area. But I like that too. Like it just shows, it shows how like creepy and lonely the West can be. I get angry when Irish says that John is a feck ugly fella. I don't think John is ugly at all and that Abigail is lucky to have him. Well, Irish is probably drunk, and I do agree. I think Abigail is looking to have a man like him, because like how many men, especially at that time, like would actually settle down and get married and like with a prostitute, like back then, even if if a woman was like pregnant with a guy's kid, like he wouldn't deny it because it was kind of like a shameful thing to be with a prostitute. But John looked past that because he really loved her, and I think that that's a really good thing, but anyway. What is this? I need to save this. Look at this is gangsta. I love. Oh my god, that's cool. I need to use that somehow in my videos. Okay, we already talked about the bandana before. When John died, it honestly felt like losing a brother or best friend. I couldn't stop listening to the credit song for days, and I believe his sacrifice is represented best through his son. It's just a shame that Jack took on the very path John wanted him to avoid. I think he's talking about the Dead Man's Gun song. I love that song. I do. Like, seriously, like, at my funeral, I would love for that song to be played. It's just, like, such a good song. It's a sad song, too, but I really like that song. And to avoid, I think, it is kind of a shame that John made kind of all these sacrifices, and in the end, Jack ended up going down a similar path. But I mean, ultimately, we don't know that. Like we see him kill Edgar Ross, but we don't know too much about his life after that. So maybe he was able to kind of just leave and maybe have somewhat of a life. I wouldn't imagine it would be a normal life, but maybe he escaped to another area of the country and had something, because back then that's really all it took. Like if you left, like let's say you committed a crime in Texas, and you go all the way up to Oregon, there's very small chance of you being found out in Oregon. Like, if you change your name and stuff, like, I don't know. I think that he could have lived a somewhat normal life, maybe, if he would have left the area, but who knows? I need to save that. My dad and I don't have the best relationship, but I think playing RDR together has made us closer. That is a really touching and cool thing, because I think that's one of the things I still need to make that. I have so much I want to do, but that's one kind of thing I wanted to make, was like talking about like the themes of the game. And I think that one important theme of the game is the relationship between a father and son. And I think that is it's one of the foundational relationships that we have in life, right? Like not always, but a lot of times the relationships with your parents determines your future relationships, kind of. Now, maybe not determines, but it has a big impact and influence on your future relationships. And I think that this game kind of shows us that, you know, Jack and John don't always see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, John loves him and will do whatever he can to give him opportunities that he didn't get. And I think Jack, though, maybe, and I think Jack, like, maybe, how am I trying to word this? I think Jack, even though he thinks that John doesn't see him as a man, or doesn't, like, I think that I kind of get that vibe that Jack kind of is like, oh, well, he just thinks I'm a little kid, or he just thinks I'm, you know, I'm not a boy, I'm a man now, you know. That's kind of the thing that he's trying to do. But usually a lot of the times, like, your parents will, like, always see, like, you as a kid, you know, like, even if you're grown and you have kids of your own or whatever, like, your parents will always see that kid version of you, you know. But even though, like, what I was trying to say, like, Jack appreciates it, even though he may not like that John views him like that. But I think John views him like that because of the situation that Jack was raised in. But anyway, but yeah, so I think that Jack understands that, and he appreciates that. So I don't know what I went on about, but I was trying to be deep, and then it got too long. But I've always hated Beecher's Hope, but I make Jack visit his parents' grave every few days. It's very cool. It's very blurry, but I think it's just John here. But yeah, man, poor Jack. He, like, literally just, like, lost everything, even though he has the farm and stuff. But I can relate to Jack more than I will admit. Yeah, I guess I could say that too, that I kind of relate to him more, because even, like, it was kind of not even, obviously I didn't have a whole gang of Pinkertons after me, but but, you know, it's kind of a similar thing where, like, kind of similar to him, like, where he lost a lot and, like, where I lost a lot, you know, like, I can kind of see that correlation there. The voice in my head is Marston's. I'm not even a native English speaker. That'd be interesting to have him, like, narrate your life, or just, like, every day, you know, you're just, like, talking as him. It would be interesting. Let's see. Whenever I play Fallout New Vegas, I make a character named Abigail Marston. I'd like to think she's a reincarnation of John's Abigail, and that Benny is a descendant of Edgar Ross. I don't know how that would work. And that's why killing him is such a priority to her. And that's the thing I think a lot of people miss, is that Fallout New Vegas is, I would consider it like a Western game too. Even though, like, there's, like, futuristic elements to it, there's, like, some post-apocalyptic and, like, 1950s elements, I would say that it's still kind of like a Western as well in its own right. I need to save that image. I'm going to use it somehow. I'm going to use it somehow for the channel. I don't know how, but I'm going to use it somehow, I swear. I need to. What the hell is this? The OP is a soulless, Jewish, Catholic, British homosexual. Nice posters in the back, too. Okay, no more. Oh my god. I saw this one. I would even fuck Zombie Marston. You are sick and you need help. The song Far Away is my ringtone. My friends hate it that I take forever to answer my phone when they call me. No regrets. And I'm sure back then, he probably had to put his phone to the TV and have it playing, and then use that as his ringtone. I used to do that so many times with, like, different songs and stuff back in the day. Because back then, we didn't just have, you know, fancy, you know, settings where you could just change your ringtone. Like, a lot of times we had to do that, like, put your phone to the TV or to the radio and play as the song was playing, and you would use that as your ringtone. Oh, you kids, you don't know our struggles. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool though. I'm a grown man and I just beat a bunch of kids in a round of multiplayer poker, and it felt great. Oh my gosh, I remember when that first came out, it was so cool because it was basically like free online poker. And I used to, like, love playing with my friends and even random people back in the day. It was really fun. And it's way more fun playing against real people than the computers. The computer will cheat all the time. But yeah, it's way more fun playing real people. Let's see. Oh god. They say I'm at my sexual peak, ma'am. That's Jack Marston to any woman he comes across with the honor level at Desperado. Of course, that's only one of the phrases. It gets funnier here on out. I don't think I've ever heard him say that, but I don't know. I've never had a bad... I should do that. Have like a bad run with him. Like do what I said and kind of like save all the stranger missions for him. And then get like very bad. I'm curious. I've never actually heard that line. I'm curious. I'll have to check it out. People that cried during John Marston's death is either a really big baby or a big bullshitter. I don't think so. I think that, especially like you play the whole game with him, he's a well-written character, and then he kind of has like a sudden death, so I don't think that anyone's a baby or whatever if they cry. I mean, it's legit emotion, you know? And I think that the game is, it's special and unique that the game is good enough to make you feel that, you know? That just shows how good and well-written it is. Let's see. I only recently started to understand why everyone prefers John to Jack, and John is really 10 times better. Yeah, well, you play most of the game with him, so of course he's better. Yeah, that's all I gotta say here. He's like, take my hand. Take my hand if you want to live. I despise animal cruelty, but in game, I kill every animal I come across, even bunnies. You sick bastard. And look, it's like Bambi and his whole army are like coming to chase you. How did he get a picture of that many deer? Oh, okay, let's see. I fell in love with Jack Marston. I'm a boy. Okay. I wanted to cuddle with him and show him that everything was alright. Okay. Whoa there. After John died, I really liked playing as Jack, but I really wish there was some romantic side plot for Jack. I could see that too, but I could also see like him being so screwed up after everything happened that love is not the first thing on his mind. So I can completely understand that. Like, yeah, I could see that too. Like after everything that maybe like later on, but I'm sure like he was probably pretty screwed up after all that, as you can imagine. The fact that Red Dead Redemption was made by a company called Rockstar San Diego makes me about 100 times more proud to have been born there. Yeah, that's what my friend says too. He's from San Diego. And yeah, Rockstar San Diego is cool though, and like the whole story that I went through and stuff in the documentary, it's really a unique kind of story. And yeah, I don't know. I think Rockstar San Diego is the best studio in Rockstar, in my opinion. All right, I'll try to do maybe 2 more pages. I have no idea what I'm at for time. Okay, I think I'll skip that one. If it's any more that I cried when he died, like I think we've seen enough of that. Trying to get more like unique ones I haven't done before. Oh god, here we go. No more John simping. Let's see. If I'm ever near in a saloon on Red Dead, I will always hitch my horse and go for a drink or two. The way I see it, John's son and wife have been taken hostage, and he needs to drown his sorrows somehow. That's an interesting kind of take on it. Like, it makes sense. Or I'll kind of do that sometimes. Like if he's just sitting at the fire, he's just like staring, like just like reflecting on everything. Okay, let's see. I honestly hate playing the game as Jack because the way he is yelling at the horses when riding them just annoys the hell out of me. And he does it. Yeah, it is kind of annoying where he's like, "Work your damn nag," and yeah, that part is kind of annoying. John just kept it brief, and Jack was just like, "Just shut up." But yeah, that part is still kind of annoying in my opinion. I don't know where we're at. I'll do one more page. I'll do this page and one more. So we've done 9 pages. Okay. Let's see. I always had a character that I used in multiplayer from the first time I played the game. Slick Nick Funtz is a badass motherfucker in the Wild West. Oh yeah, this army guy. I don't remember, who was I the first time I played? I think I was either a sheriff or okay, this was so long ago, I don't even remember. I was either a sheriff, one of the Mexican outlaws, or Al Wolf's Creed. One of those 3 I think mainly I started out just playing as Al Wolf's Creed in the game. That's who I used to mainly play as. And then like it kind of changed later on. Like I would use more of different members of Dutch's gang or Nastas or like Louisa I would use sometimes, or you know who I don't see anymore? Like I haven't seen any Edgar Rosses or anything in years. But yeah, that's what I made. I think I used Al Wolf's Creed first. Here's we have some concept art for the Waltons gang. Every time I go and get junk in Armadillo, the guys that look like Slash the guys that look like Slash come over to me. They have a tendency to follow me into the bathroom too. That's funny. Instead of calling them Walton's gang, we'll just call them the guys that look like Slash. Slash is in the game. There should have been more cannons throughout the game. Not just for one mission, and you only got to kill like 6 people. Yeah, the only cannon... Yeah, it's in El Presidio. That's the only one that you can use. I think, yeah, they should have used the cannon more. Maybe like at Fort Mercer you could have used it. Or maybe Edgar Ross and like the army, like they have a cannon of their own or something. I mean, you use a Gatling gun, but I think that a cannon would have been cool too to use. Let's see. It came as an unhappy surprise, seeing that in the miscellaneous section of the newspaper, Irish male of unknown name came to the death by accidental discharge of gun in Thieves Landing outhouse. Though I suppose if he was going to go, that's how Irish would have gone. Yeah, it makes sense. But I'm glad that they actually included kind of like an epilogue of all the characters too. I think that's kind of a cool thing too. That, I mean, they didn't have to do that, and I think that's cool that they did. Alright, I killed Edgar Ross's wife as part of Jack's revenge. Yes, I did that too, and I think his brother as well. Get rid of his own family. He took John's family, I could take his family. I now know that, oh my god. I know now that oh my son, my blessed son is a cheat code, but it is scrawled into the wall. But seeing it scrawled into the wall of the barn is really eerie. I'll have to look at that. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. So it's in the barn of Beecher's Hope? I'm gonna have to go see about that. And I think that's cool that they do have like different, like, I believe this is from, I think it's from the Prodigal Son. And it's funny because like the game has like a lot of references and even quotes from the Bible in the game. That's one of them. There's like a few more. Like obviously Blessed are the Peacemakers. But yeah, I mean that is one of the mission titles, is the Prodigal Son, I believe. But anyway. Alright. I love how much John and West Dickens like each other, even though in the beginning John didn't show it. Yeah, John was not putting up with this shit. He's like, you're conning and scamming people, and I mean, I don't know if he liked West Dickens, but I think maybe he grew like a fondness for him. He's just like an old man. But yeah, like when John first met him, he probably hated him. He's like, oh my god, this freaking scammer. I love these like edits like this. I might save that one too. Alright, here we go. Seth was actually my favorite character in the whole game. I find him hilarious and entertaining, especially in Undead Nightmare. Yeah, he was pretty funny. He's also very sick as he pilfers through these corpses here, but yeah, I could see that. He was a very unique character. Let's see. One of the saddest things that could happen in the game is finishing a firefight and seeing your horse on the ground. Yeah, or sometimes like your horse gets in the way, and it like, one thing I would hate is sometimes like if you're in cover or something and your horse, like, you get off of it and it like stays there, it doesn't go away, and it like pushes you. And it pushes you out in the open and you end up getting shot. That's kind of annoying. Let's see. After I beat the game, I was unsure about what to do with my life, so I decided to try and adopt John's walk, because I always thought it looked so awesome. It's never cool when I... Why would you want to like walk like him? I mean, John, he kind of walks stiff a little bit, but I don't know why you would want to walk like him. I'm convinced that the blackjack dealers are all cheaters. Yeah, not just the blackjack dealers, but I would say even like the some of the players, and like, because it's the computer, so it can see what you're doing and stuff. So like, it always cheats and always simultaneously has better cards or whatever. So yeah, like the computer always cheats. One of my headcanons is that Jack roams the West, not only to be like his father, but also he can't stand being at home. He lost uncle and his father on that ranch, and would be surprised if Abigail died. Well, she did. Did you not remember? There would be so many sad memories for him. Yeah, I can see that too. Like him just like, maybe he's like trying to work it out at the ranch, trying to work the land, but it's only him there. And like he kind of just gets overwhelmed and overcome with sadness and is just like, screw this, maybe he just abandons the ranch. That's a possibility too. During my first playthrough of Red Dead, I loved Bonnie, but I couldn't stand her when I replayed the game. Really, why? On my second playthrough, she seemed snarky and bitter. I guess I can see the snarky part. I don't know about the bitter part, though. I don't know. I always thought Abigail was more snarky and bitter than Bonnie was. Let's see. Since Sean died, I live in Mexico exclusively. I know that riding up through America will just hurt Jack too much. That makes sense. Like, maybe he just went to Mexico and he just stayed in Mexico. And he hit out the rest of his days in Mexico. I don't know. It's just interesting, like, the kind of stories that people come up with, you know, during the time, and even nowadays, I'm sure people do the same thing. But anyway, that'll be it for this video of Red Dead Confessions. I think the next one will probably be the last one, because we only got 13 left, and I think I did like about 9 of them today. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you next time.